Greetings. Dear viewers and listeners, a family that accumulates good deeds will have an abundance of blessings, a family that accumulates evil deeds will have lingering misfortunes. This saying from the I Ching might seem simple, but hidden within it is a profound truth about life and death. Have you ever seen an oil lamp about to go out? The small flame flickers, seemingly ready to extinguish with just a gentle breeze. Yet, with just a drop of oil added, the lamp flares up, continuing to illuminate a path through the darkness. Humans are the same. There are times when illness has penetrated to the bone marrow, and life expectancy seems predetermined. But a good thought, a benevolent act, can be like a miraculous drop of oil, igniting new days. Many might find this hard to believe. When death is near, how can things still change? Can destiny, once set, truly be altered? This question not only piques our curiosity today, but for millennia. Eastern sages have left countless stories proving that humans can indeed change their fate by accumulating virtue and performing good deeds. The story from Lao Fan's Four Lessons. In Lao Fan's Four Lessons, there's a famous story about the author himself, Yuan Lao Fan. He once believed that his life, from career to longevity, was predetermined step by step. But thanks to meeting an enlightened monk who taught him that destiny can change if one truly performs good deeds, he transformed his entire fate. Ancient wisdom texts also record many cases of people on the verge of death who, through developing a compassionate heart and doing good deeds, saw their illnesses vanish and their lifespans extended. And in our history, we also see examples of long-lived individuals who dedicated their lives to helping people and saving their country, leaving lasting blessings for future generations. So, is death an absolute end, or merely a turning point for humans to awaken? Can we, even when death is near, hold on to life by accumulating virtue and performing good deeds? I invite you to join me on a journey through these stories to find answers to this seemingly paradoxical question. Yuan Lao Fan, whose real name was Yuan Huang, courtesy name Kun Yi, was born in the 14th year of the Jiajing reign of the Ming dynasty in Wujiang County, Jiangsu. He lost his father early and lived with his mother. His father had wished for his son to follow in his footsteps as a physician, healing people. Therefore, his mother often advised him to study medicine instead of dreaming of scholarly fame. But Lao Fan always harbored the ambition to study the classics and embark on a scholar's path to help the world in a different way. A significant turning point in his life occurred during his youth. One day, while visiting Qin Temple, he met a Taoist master named Kong from Yunnan, skilled in numerology, who claimed to be proficient in the Wangji Shu. Master Kong observed Lao Fan's physiognomy, birth hour, and destiny, then predicted his future path in detail. He clearly stated at what age Lao Fan would pass the civil service exams, how he would fare in various levels of examinations, even his rank. He also predicted Lao Fan's lifespan, saying he would only live to be 53. What astonished Lao Fan was that in the following years, all the predictions came true. His exam ranks and positions were exactly as Master Kong had foretold. This chilling accuracy convinced Lao Fan that human life was predetermined and unchangeable. He lived with this belief, content with his lot, neither striving nor having the passion to excel, partly because he thought all fame, wealth, and even longevity were predetermined, and human effort was useless. Throughout his youth, Lao Fan maintained a resigned attitude. He took exams, passed exactly as predicted, but felt no excitement. He lived a life as if he already knew the future, like an actor replaying a pre-written script. But within this resignation, the seed of awakening slowly began to sprout. Another turning point occurred when he was about 30 years old. While attending a Dharma assembly, he met Zen Master Yungu. After the Dharma talk, Lao Fan sincerely expressed to the Zen master that he believed fate could not be changed because his own life had proven it. He recounted all of Master Kong's predictions and their accurate fulfillment. Upon hearing this, Zen Master Yungu smiled and gently said, "If fate truly cannot be changed, then why do the scriptures teach that those who perform 10 good deeds will increase their blessings, happiness, and lifespan? If everything is fixed, then the teachings of accumulating good deeds to gain blessings and extend life would not be meaningless. Humans are like calligraphers who can write good or bad characters. Fate is merely a rough sketch, the final painting. Whether good or bad, beautiful or ugly, remains in the hands of the person." These words resonated like an awakening bell, startling Lao Fan after years of delusion. He suddenly realized that he had been living passively, surrendering to fate, much like a boat adrift without sails or rudder. He began to ponder, if humans could truly change their destiny by performing good deeds, had he not wasted all those years? From then on, Lao Fan vowed to reform himself. He began to record every good and bad deed he performed daily in a notebook called the Mind Governing Journal. In the morning, he examined his thoughts. In the evening, he reviewed his actions of the day. Helping a poor person, advising someone to abandon bad habits, saving a life, or simply speaking a kind word, all were recorded. Similarly, whenever he spoke harsh words, harbored ill intentions, or performed an unwholesome act, he also carefully noted it down. Initially, performing good deeds was not easy. There were times he helped people but was misunderstood, other times, he did good deeds but was met with scorn. But remembering the Zen Master's teachings, he persevered. Undeterred, he understood that performing good deeds was not for fame or self-justification, but precisely to cultivate his own mind and nurture blessings. At 35, he made a great vow to perform 3,000 good deeds. The first time, it took him 10 years to complete. Upon finishing, he made another vow. This time, with a matured mind and firm resolve. It only took him 4 years. He then vowed another 3,000 good deeds. One of the greatest good deeds he performed as an official was reducing taxes for the people. When serving as a district magistrate, he saw the suffering of the populace due to heavy taxes. He decided to reduce the land tax from 2.37 parts to just 1.3 parts. This not only saved thousands of households from destitution but was also considered an immense merit, equivalent to thousands of smaller good deeds. He once even dreamed that a deity told him that this single act of tax reduction was enough to compensate for tens of thousands of other good deeds. From then on, he believed even more deeply that sincere good deeds could even alter heavenly fate. Gradually, Master Kong's previous predictions began to err. He passed exams at a higher rank than predicted. His career exceeded his predetermined fate. And he even lived longer than the foretold age of 53. He passed the Jinshu exam at 52, was appointed district magistrate, and continued to be promoted. His own life was clear proof that destiny can be changed through performing good deeds and accumulating virtue. In his old age, reflecting on his life, Lao Fan wrote Lao Fan's 4 lessons to pass down to his descendants and future generations. He emphasized that heavenly fate is not fixed. Those who know how to perform good deeds, cultivate their minds, and accumulate virtue can change their blessings, careers, and longevity. Those who resign themselves to fate are merely imprisoning themselves in shackles. He wanted to remind his descendants never to think of themselves as helpless before destiny. Fate lies in one's own hands through every small action, every good thought each day. Through his own story, Lao Fan wanted to prove to the world that virtue can overcome fate. It is virtue that is the root cause of changing destiny. Fame can come, wealth can come, but without virtue, all will quickly fade. Conversely, with virtue, even a predetermined short life can be extended. Even in poverty, one can enjoy peace. His life story became a vivid testament, inspiring generations. It not only teaches how to do good but also instills strong faith that fate is not a prison but an unfinished painting. and the brush is in one's own hand. The story from Ancient Wisdom. The Ancient Wisdom collection contains countless anecdotes encouraging good deeds and learning, including stories about accumulating virtue to turn misfortune into blessings and extend life, even when death seemed imminent. One of the most representative stories is about a man named Jiang in the Ming dynasty. Mr. Jiang was a simple farmer living in the Jiangnan region. From a young age, he worked diligently and harmed no one. But in middle age, illness suddenly struck. He contracted pulmonary tuberculosis. His body grew thin, and he constantly coughed up blood. All the doctors in the area came to treat him, but they all shook their heads. His family had already prepared for his funeral, believing death was only days away. During those severe days of illness, Mr. Jiang had a strange dream. In his dream, he saw himself entering a large hall, where officials in black robes held record books. One official looked up and said, "Your lifespan is exhausted, it cannot be extended." He knelt in terror, pleading. At that moment, another official stepped forward and said, "If you wish to extend your life, develop a vast heart and accumulate merit for the people, and it can be changed." Waking up, Mr. Jiang pondered deeply. His illness had reached his bone marrow. Medicines were useless, why not try doing good deeds? He gathered his remaining money and printed dozens of books of moral teachings to distribute for free. Seeing many illiterate children in his village, he built a thatched house, invited a tutor, and arranged food and lodging for poor students. That year, during a famine, he sold his only remaining piece of land to buy rice to save people. Miraculously, from the day he started these good intentions, his illness gradually subsided. Initially, his cough lessened. Then he could eat again, and his body slowly regained strength. Before long, he, who was on his deathbed, could walk by himself and lived another 20 years in peace. The villagers all believed that this was due to his accumulated merit, which caused his fate to be extended. Ancient Wisdom records this story to emphasize the principle, Tianak Chi Bao Nuan Tui He, the reward for good or evil follows like a shadow. This means that blessings or misfortunes closely follow a person, without error, even if fate seems predetermined. A person's thoughts and actions can influence heaven and earth, causing destiny to change. If viewed metaphorically, Mr. Jiang's life was like barren land, seemingly devoid of life. But when the underground spring of merit flowed in, the land revived, plants grew back, and spring returned. This story reminds us of the words in the scriptures, Juin Yan Tu Cao De Fuck, only humans can seek many blessings for themselves. This means that if people want blessings, they must seek them themselves by accumulating virtue and performing good deeds, not by passively waiting for heaven's will. When we place Mr. Jiang's story alongside Yuan Lao Fan's, we see a major commonality. Both had moments when death seemed unavoidable, but through a transformation of mind and benevolent actions, their lifespans were extended. Today, modern science also offers similar evidence. Psychology shows that optimistic, benevolent people tend to live longer and healthier lives. Medicine indicates that performing good deeds, compassion, and a peaceful mind can reduce stress, boost the immune system, and help the body fight illness. This seems to connect with ancient wisdom. Accumulating virtue not only extends longevity on a spiritual level but also has a direct impact on the physical body. Thus, the story in ancient wisdom is not just an anecdote to encourage good deeds but also a profound testament to the truth. Even when facing the brink of death, humanity still has a path to take, the path of accumulating virtue and performing good deeds. And that path not only extends life but also leaves blessings for future generations. The example in Vietnamese history. In the historical current of our nation, many eminent figures have left shining examples of accumulating virtue and performing good deeds, and thereby enjoyed long lives despite having experienced many serious illnesses and dangers. One of the most prominent figures is Win Kong Chu, a scholar, a military general, and also a meritorious official of the Win dynasty. Win Kongchu was born in 1778 and died in 1858, living to be 80 years old. In feudal times, when medicine was still limited, the average lifespan rarely exceeded 60, so 80 was a rare age. What's remarkable is that throughout his life, Win Kongchu suffered from severe illnesses multiple times, going through periods where his health seemed beyond recovery. Yet he ultimately lived long and left an everlasting good name. What made this difference? Perhaps the answer lies in what he did for the world. Win Kongchu was not only a civil and military official of comprehensive talent but also a practical social reformer. He was famous for his efforts in land reclamation and settlement. During his time in office, he organized the cultivation of tens of thousands of acres of land across the coastal regions of the north and north-central Vietnam. He established dozens of new villages, bringing thousands of poor farmers to live and cultivate, thereby providing them with a stable home and land to farm, ending their wandering and poverty. Ancient historical records also state that Win Kongchu, while holding an important position at court, seeing the people suffer from famine, readily used his own efforts and resources to provide relief food. He once said, "My duty is not only to help the king and country but also to help the people live in peace and abundance." These words were not mere slogans but actions recorded in official history. Win Kongchu himself did not always have smooth sailing. He was demoted multiple times, even dismissed from office and forced into seclusion. At times, he was merely a frontier soldier in a remote area. But in any circumstance, he never stopped doing good deeds, bringing benefits to the people. Even in his old age, he still visited fields and encouraged people to work hard and uphold righteousness. The Dai Nam Tuk Luc records that in his old age, he suffered from a severe illness. Many worried that the great minister would not recover, but he eventually recuperated and lived for many more years, with a clear mind and indomitable will. Perhaps his vast heart, his wisdom for the people and country, became the nourishment that sustained his health and extended his lifespan. From an Eastern philosophical perspective, Win Kongchu was a person who accumulated virtue in the broadest sense. He cared not only for himself or his family but for tens of thousands of farmers. This merit, according to ancient belief, was the greatest blessing. A person with great blessings naturally has a long lifespan because heaven and earth align with the human heart. One can imagine Win Kongchu's life as a great river. This river sometimes encountered submerged rocks and rapids, seeming to be blocked, but thanks to its powerful flow, nourished by countless small springs of good deeds, it ultimately flowed long and wide into the vast sea. Win Kongchu's example leaves for future generations not only poems full of spirit and glorious military victories but also a simple philosophy of life. To live is to sow blessings for others, to benefit the world. It was this way of life that allowed him to live long, overcoming illness and danger. This also shows a strange similarity between Win Kongchu's story and those in Lao Fan's Four Lessons and Ancient Wisdom. Although from different perspectives, one a Confucian scholar, one a folk anecdote, one from official history, all affirm a common principle: accumulated virtue is a factor that can change one's destiny, even when death is near. If Yuan Lao Fan's story shows us the power of self-cultivation of mind and conduct, Mr. Zhang's story in Ancient Wisdom proves that specific merits can influence one's lifespan. And with Win Kongchu, we see the clear image of a historical figure from Vietnam with practical, tangible actions for tens of thousands of people, leaving a distinct mark that living virtuously and accumulating good deeds not only extends life but also glorifies one's name and transmits blessings through generations. Looking back, we can see a common thread running through all three stories. From the East, China, to Vietnam, from scriptures to historical records, destiny is not a prison but a door, and the key lies within the human heart. Win Kongchu, throughout his 80 years of life, proved this through his own actions. And this truth, even after centuries, still holds its value for future generations. Eastern philosophy. The three stories we have explored, Yuan Lao Fan's in Lao Fan's Four Lessons, Mr. Zhang's in Ancient Wisdom, and Win Kong Chu's example in Vietnamese history, at first glance seem very different. One is a Ming Dynasty Confucian scholar, one a humble farmer, and one a great minister of the Win Dynasty. Yet, all converge at a common point: when people learn to transform their thoughts, diligently perform good deeds, and accumulate blessings, their destiny can change, and their lifespans can be extended. This is not a coincidence but reflects a profound principle distilled over thousands of years of Eastern civilization. In Buddhism, this principle is clearly articulated. The 10 Good Deeds Sutra states, one who practices the 10 good deeds will experience increased longevity, beauty, and happiness. The 10 good deeds include not killing, not stealing, not engaging in sexual misconduct, not lying, not speaking harshly, not speaking divisively, not engaging in idle chatter, not being greedy, not being angry, and not being ignorant. When a person upholds these 10 good deeds, not only are their body and mind purified, but their blessings also increase, thereby extending their lifespan. The Buddha once taught, mind precedes all mental states. Mind is their chief, they are all mind-wrought. If a person's mind is good, their actions are good. If their actions are good, the karmic result is good. Good karmic results include health, peace, and longevity. In many Buddhist stories, there are numerous cases of seriously ill people who, by developing a vast heart and performing great good deeds, printing scriptures, giving alms, saving lives, saw their illnesses diminish and their lifespans extended. These stories correspond to what we see in ancient wisdom texts or official Vietnamese history. In Confucianism, the idea that accumulating good deeds will surely bring good rewards is considered a fundamental principle. The I Ching states, a family that accumulates good deeds will have an abundance of blessings, a family that accumulates evil deeds will have lingering misfortunes. The ancients did not view heavenly fate as rigid but believed that it always adapted to the human heart. Sages advised people to accumulate good deeds not only to leave blessings for their descendants but also to experience peace and long life in the present. This philosophy was concretized through countless historical accounts. Families who performed good deeds for generations thrived for a long time. In contrast, greedy and tyrannical individuals, though briefly wealthy, soon met their demise. Confucian philosophy does not separate good and evil from destiny but sees them as two interconnected aspects. Every good deed is a seed sown in the field of blessings, which will bear fruit at the appropriate time, leading to a stable life and extended longevity. Taoism also extensively discusses health preservation and longevity. Lao Jia, in the Tao Te Ching, wrote, "The highest good is like water, water benefits all things without contention. One who reaches the highest good is like water, nurturing all beings without vying for supremacy. Water is inherently soft and weak, yet it endures because it follows the natural way. Those who cultivate themselves according to this spirit, living simply, harmoniously, and harming no one, will have stable vital energy and a strong spirit, thereby leading to a long-lasting body." Taoists believe that longevity is not only due to genetics but also to one's way of life. Greedy, angry, cunning individuals who harm others will have chaotic energy channels, depleted spirits, and are prone to illness and early death. Conversely, those who are compassionate, yielding, and helpful will have balanced blood and energy, a serene mind, and thus achieve longevity. Chuangzi's saying, "One who follows the way lives long like the mountains, one who does not follow the way perishes quickly like dry grass," has become a universal wisdom in Taoist health preservation. Interestingly, the three major philosophical systems, Confucianism, Buddhism, and Taoism, though having different expressions, all converge at one point: good deeds and virtue are the root of longevity. Confucianism emphasizes accumulating good deeds for family and society. Buddhism emphasizes cultivating the mind and performing good deeds to transform karmic retribution. Taoism emphasizes following the way and nature to nourish life. All lead to a common result: living virtuously leads to a long life. And living virtuously leads to a peaceful life. Today, when viewed from a scientific perspective, we increasingly find that ancient wisdom has a basis. Modern psychology has shown that optimistic, altruistic people often suffer less from cardiovascular diseases, experience less stress, and have a higher average lifespan. A Harvard University study showed that individuals who regularly participate in volunteer activities and help the community have better mental health and significantly longer lifespans than other groups. Modern medicine also indicates that compassion and positive attitudes help boost the immune system and reduce the risk of chronic diseases. If we consider the human body as a garden, then thoughts and actions are the nourishing water. A person who lives virtuously is like watering the garden with pure, clean water, causing plants to flourish and bear abundant fruit. A person who lives wickedly is like watering with poison, causing the soil to become barren and plants to wither. This metaphor not only has spiritual meaning but also reflects a biological truth. Lifestyle and thoughts directly affect health and longevity. Returning to the three stories, Yuan Lao Fan changed his fate by diligently recording good deeds every day. Mr. Jiang revived from the brink of death through almsgiving and saving people. Win Kongchu lived long by dedicating his life to reclaiming wasteland and establishing new villages for the poor. Their commonality is that they all performed good deeds through specific, practical actions. Not just words or empty wishes. It was this practice that transformed their destinies and extended their lifespans. Eastern philosophy teaches that people should not wait until illness and death are imminent to think about performing good deeds. Every day, every small act, every good thought can accumulate into great blessings. But even if death is right before your eyes, it's not too late. Because even when the lamp is almost out of oil, just one more drop can make the light burn longer. Therefore, Eastern philosophy is not a rigid doctrine but a concrete, accessible way of life. Live virtuously to live long. Live virtuously to live meaningfully. And live virtuously so that when death comes, it is no longer a terror but a serene, gentle peace. It can be said that blessings and longevity inherently go together. Those who accumulate blessings will surely be protected by heaven and earth, and their lifespan will be long. Those who live selfishly and harm others, no matter how powerful or wealthy, will find it difficult to live long. This is an eternal law proven through generations. From scriptures, anecdotes, to historical records, and today further illuminated by modern science. This philosophy, when deeply embedded in life, will become a guiding light for each person to know that destiny is in their own hands. Lifespan is also in their own hands. And every good deed, every good thought, is a drop of oil that keeps that lamp burning ever brighter. The ancients often said, Nian shine that top sio lie high. It is rare for a person to live to 70 years old. Yet, in the stories we just heard, there were people who not only overcame severe illness near death but also lived longer than their seemingly predetermined fate. Why such a difference? A saying in Zhuangzi's Non-Hua Jing offers insight: one who follows the way lives long, one who does not follow the way perishes quickly. The way here is not something distant but the harmony with benevolence, with a compassionate heart. Following the way means living in accordance with the principles of heaven and earth. Living to bring benefit to others, to all beings. When we follow this way, our body and mind are harmonized, blessings increase, and longevity naturally extends. In the Tao Te Ching, Lao Jia also taught, the highest good is like water, water benefits all things without contention. The highest good is like water, nurturing all beings without vying or flaunting. One who lives virtuously without seeking reward, accumulating virtue without desiring fame or profit, will have even deeper blessings and even longer life. This is a natural law, and also a law of cause and effect. Buddhism offers another image. In the Dhammapada, the Buddha said, if the mind is pure, the body is at peace. If the body is at peace, life is long. A person who lives in worry, anger, and selfishness is like burning themselves out. Conversely, a person who knows how to love, let go, and do good deeds has a light soul, like a calm lake. From that peaceful mind, the body is also nourished. Illnesses are fewer, and longevity naturally extends. These teachings are not foreign but can be clearly seen in daily life. A person prone to anger and stress often develops high blood pressure and heart disease. A greedy, calculating person often suffers from insomnia and nervous tension. But a generous, tolerant person often has a serene face, stable health, and an optimistic spirit. This is precisely the intersection of ancient philosophy and modern science. In ancient wisdom, there is a saying, Nyan Jiato, Bao Jiayu, the benevolent live long, the violent die young. This is not just advice but an observation drawn from thousands of years of history. Tyrants, corrupt officials, and cruel individuals mostly die young, their reputations ruined. In contrast, virtuous people who dedicate their lives to the people often live long and their good names endure. If we look back at Win Kong Chu, we see this clearly. He once suffered from severe illness, faced danger on the battlefield, but ultimately lived to be 80 years old. This was not only due to his physique but also to his vast heart, accumulating blessings for the people throughout his life. When people mention him, they not only recall his spirited poems but also remember his gratitude for reclaiming tens of thousands of acres of land and establishing new villages for the poor. This blessing was not only for the people but also returned to him as longevity and a good name. Eastern proverbs also offer a thought-provoking saying, Nyat nyat hun tien fuck tui vi tri hoa dvn hai. Nyat nyat hunak hoa tui vi tri fuck dvn hai. This means, one day of good deeds. Blessings may not arrive immediately, but misfortune is already far away. One day of evil deeds. Misfortune may not arrive immediately, but blessings are already far away. This saying reminds us that blessings or misfortunes are not instantaneous but always operate subtly, like a shadow following a form. In today's life, many people, when hearing about accumulating virtue to extend life, often consider it a vague belief. But if we look deeply, we will see it as a truth based on natural cause and effect. A person who lives with a good heart and a peaceful mind will have good health, fewer illnesses, and naturally live longer. A person who lives wickedly with an uneasy mind will have many illnesses, much stress, and naturally a short life. This is the confluence of Eastern philosophy and modern medicine. So the question arises, what should each of us do to accumulate virtue, to extend our lives, even when death seems imminent? First, it must start from the heart. Good intentions are the root. When hatred and jealousy still reside in our hearts, all external good deeds are merely superficial. Conversely, when our hearts ignite with compassion for others and for the world, even a small act can have a profound impact. Second, start with small actions. Help an elderly person cross the street. Offer a seat. Smile at a stranger. Refrain from harsh words. All are acts of accumulating virtue. Blessings are not only found in grand deeds like famine relief or temple building but are right there in every daily gesture. Third, persevere in maintaining good deeds. Yuan Lao Fan recorded every good deed daily, accumulating thousands. Mr. Jiang's illness gradually receded thanks to his persistent help for the poor. Win Kong Chu dedicated his life to land reclamation, leaving blessings for countless people. It is this steadfastness that can change destiny and ultimately extend life. Finally, one must know how to let go. Sometimes, selfishness and stubbornness are precisely the burdens that shorten our lives. When we know how to let go of resentment and greed, our souls become light, and our bodies are at ease. This is the path to a long and healthy life. An ancient Zen saying states, Nyat Nyat Huntian, Nyat Nyatan Lak, Nyat Nyatan Lak, Nyat Nyat Tiung To. Each day performing good deeds. Each day peaceful. Each day peaceful. Each day long-lived. This is not just a beautiful poem but a formula for life. If Eastern philosophy could be encapsulated in an image, it would be the oil lamp. Each good deed is a drop of oil added. The lamp, seemingly about to go out, shines brighter for another night thanks to the added oil. Life, seemingly short, is extended for more years through the accumulation of virtue. And most importantly, that light not only illuminates our own path but also the path of those who follow. Looking back at the entire journey of stories and teachings we've just covered, a clear red thread seems to emerge. Death is not always an absolute end. Even when death seems imminent, humans still have a door to pass through, the door of accumulating virtue, performing good deeds, and cultivating oneself. Yuan Laofan, a Ming Dynasty Confucian scholar, once believed that his life was predetermined from beginning to end. A fortune teller predicted his exam successes, the length of his official career, and his lifespan. Initially, everything indeed happened exactly as predicted, leading him to put absolute faith in destiny. But then his encounter with Zen Master Yungu changed everything. The Zen Master's words, "Fate is not fixed, those who accumulate good deeds can change their fate," became a wake-up call. From then on, Lao Fan recorded every good deed, making helping others his life's purpose. And as a result, his own life exceeded the predictions of fate. He lived longer. His career shone brighter, leaving behind an immortal work to advise the world. Mr. Zhang in ancient wisdom was an ordinary farmer. He was gravely ill. Doctors gave up hope, and his family prepared for his funeral. But from a strange dream, he awakened. If he wanted to live longer, he had to develop a compassionate heart and do good deeds. He printed scriptures, opened a school, and sold his land to save people from famine. Miraculously, his illness gradually receded and then disappeared. The man who was thought to be on the verge of death lived another 20 healthy years. This was not a myth but proof that when the mind changes, the body also changes. And when good karma arises, even death can be deferred. Win Kong Chu, an eminent figure in Vietnamese history, also left a profound lesson. He was renowned not only for his literary and military talents but also for his contributions to land reclamation and settlement, establishing dozens of new villages and providing livelihoods for tens of thousands of poor people. Throughout his life, he lived with the aspiration of helping the king and the people. Sometimes he was promoted, sometimes demoted, even returning to serve as a frontier soldier. But wherever he was, he cared for the people. He once suffered a severe illness in his old age but recovered and lived to be 80, a rare age in feudal times. People believed that the blessings he created nurtured his health and extended his lifespan. 3 stories, one from scripture, one from anecdote, one from history, share a common message: destiny can be changed when people perform good deeds. When we examine these things in the light of the teachings of the Majjhima Nikaya, we see even greater clarity. The Buddha taught that karma is led by intention. Those who sow good seeds reap good fruits, a peaceful mind, a healthy body, and a long life. Those who sow evil seeds reap bitter fruits, a disturbed mind, a sick body, and a short life. All this is not in the hands of some invisible force but in the actions and intentions of human beings themselves. This is not mystical. Modern science also shows that optimistic, benevolent people who help others generally have better health, fewer illnesses, and longer lifespans. Conversely, selfish or angry individuals are often prone to heart disease, high blood pressure, stress, and have shorter lifespans. Thus, the philosophy of accumulating virtue to extend life left by the ancients is not detached from reality but is a truth that has been proven over generations. The issue is no longer a question of how long we live but how we live. If each day we sow a good thought, perform a good deed, then no matter when death comes, we can smile and accept it, because we know that we have lived a full and useful life. And if our lifespan is extended, those years will be even more vibrant because we have more time to sow good seeds for the world. An Eastern proverb says, "One good thought can dispel 1,000 misfortunes, one evil thought can open 1,000 doors of suffering." That good thought is like a drop of oil added to the lamp. The lamp, seemingly about to go out, burns for another night thanks to that drop of oil. Human life is the same. And if we add oil every day, that lamp will shine brightly for a long time, illuminating not only our own path but also the path of those who follow. Today, facing so many uncertainties, people increasingly need spiritual support. The philosophy that virtue overcomes fate is that very support. Destiny may lay out a path, but it is virtue that determines how far we go. Blessings are the armor that protects us from illness and misfortune. Blessings are also the hand that pulls us back from the brink of death. So the most important thing to remember is never to give up on fate. Even when close to death, there is still a path, the path of accumulating virtue and performing good deeds. And we can start today. A kind word, an act of helping others, a compassionate thought, these are already steps on that path. As I conclude this story, I want to extend a gentle but profound invitation to you. Please ponder and comment below on the 4 words, virtue overcomes fate. Do Ken think so? In your opinion, in your own life or in what you have witnessed, can virtue truly overcome destiny? Have you experienced or witnessed a miraculous change thanks to performing good deeds and accumulating virtue? Please share your insights, because every story, every reflection, is a light that adds to our collective journey. Turning Point concludes its sharing. Thank you sincerely, dear viewers and listeners, for dedicating your valuable time and patience to follow this sharing to the end. Once again, I wish you, your families, always happiness, success, and peace in life. Sincerely, goodbye and see you again.